It's 30 minutes after trading on Thursday, the 15th. And I want to walk you through we're not going to talk about some big market trend or anything like that or the next big stock, but I do want to talk to you about something that I've been looking at today. Honestly, it's like if you're watching this video, you're probably watching it because you like the way I take a look at things. I'm very counterintuitive. Again, we're not investing with technicals and resistance and support. Maybe I know what that means. I don't know. But it's with street smarts. It's just looking at it. As I heard a guy on TV today, he said, I'm betting on the other side of Credit Suisse because they're terrible traders. So whatever they sell, I'm going to buy. Whatever they buy, I'm going to sell. But we're looking at the market. We're looking at COVID. We're looking at things like the market reopening. We're looking at common sense, like movie theaters and things like that. So, and then just looking at the market and see what lines up and what doesn't. What are people missing out on, and what opportunities are there? And so, one of the things that I noticed, first we'll go back a few weeks, and I told you how I was looking to realign my portfolio into travel, travel, entertainment, casino, and oil. I think those are the big four, and away from some of the other ones. Not that they're not good stocks, but we wanted to get to move away from there. And so, one of the things that I've noticed over the last few weeks is that lined up perfectly. So travel is up. I mean, we have an exception of AHT, which we're going to talk about today. It's Ashford Hospitality Trust. They do hotels and casinos. Entertainment, smaller niche we have here, but 45 and 42% respectively. Oil stocks are up 150. I think they're just going to go up even more as the price of oil goes up. Casino stocks, with the exception of Penn National Gaming, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about them at all. I mean, we're up 51%. And then we look at the Biden stocks. We have Blink, which is doing good. Blink Charging, I think that's going to blow up because you're going to see a massive push for electric car charging infrastructure. I think this is a seminal moment. It's like when gas stations were put in. It's like when the highway system was put in. It's like it's like when the internet was put in, when they were installing broadband cables. I mean, I think it's very similar to that. But we look at fuel cell, and it's down 38%, which is kind of odd. I mean, not kind of odd, but as we get into these next three sectors, these are the sectors that about a month ago I talked about wanting to liquidate, just to focus on the first four sectors we talked up here: travel, entertainment, oil, and casino, or betting stocks is probably the better way of saying it. Then we go to other, and we've gotten actually hammered on these, which, to be honest, I guess I'm not too surprised because this was my advice about a month ago, is we want to get out of these. And so Corsair is about break even, so we're going to I want to sell that, but this thing spikes when it spikes, and it's earnings season, so I'm probably going to wait until after their earnings comes out to do anything with this one. But then Fubo, which, I mean, has everything lined up in the right way, and whatever reason, it's just tanked lately. So I put more into to kind of dollar cost average it a little bit, but I still think it's going to come up, but it might be a longer time frame before we break even, and then we liquidate this out. So Next ID, which is a cybersecurity company, they do the Internet of Things, that's gone down a little bit as well. Signet Jewelers, I mean, they were up 950% a couple days ago, so they're the unicorn. I've liquidated most of it. I didn't just invest $400 in it, but it's worth $4,000 now. So, and I liquidated it at 650%. So didn't get the most out of it, but got a pretty decent chunk out of it. Skills, which has, again, another company with everything looking the right direction. It just hasn't performed yet. And then Verint is almost break even. So these are the ones that we talked about wanting to get rid of. And then, we'll talk about crypto in a second. But so if you followed my advice, and I guess I probably should have followed my advice a little bit better, was really getting rid of these stocks. Not that they're not good stocks. I think most of them are pretty good stocks, but I kind of got this sense that really want to focus, instead of focusing on this area or even putting any focus on that area, putting focuses in these areas. And that's even why I broke it down into segments, so I can kind of get a sense on overall weighting for the top four that we want, and then the weighting for the other one that we want. So one of the things that I want to talk about today, and we'll talk about crypto too. Bitcoin, we're not letting go of. That's a long ride. And then Future FinTech is a Chinese blockchain company. So it's Chinese, you never know what their numbers are, but Things are looking in the right direction overall, but then they're down 30%. So most of it, if you looked at why maybe the numbers are down a little bit lately, it's not that the core focus of what I'm really good at, what we're really focusing on. I mean, all those are pretty much, with a rare exception, are either doing very well, or, I mean, with the exception of this one, maybe we're going to talk about this one a little bit. I mean, barely in the red. But the ones that we wanted to get rid of tank lately. So these are the ones that we're going to hold on to. With $8,000 in skills, we're not adding to that. Variant, I was debating on this. Like, should I liquidate it? I would get $5,000 back, but it's 100% buy. I mean, if we look at Variant right here, where is this at? It's 100% buy rating for Variant. So Variant right there, 100% buy rating. So I went in to look at the stock research, and man, I think there was like 7 analysts, and they all said buy. There was no hold, and there was no sell. So there's no reason to get rid of something when it's down only 4% if everybody's telling you to buy it. So we're not doing that. We're not adding the skills. Signet we're fine with. I mean, there's no sense buying when it's up 900%. That's stupid. Next ID as well. We have 6,000 in it. We're not going to add anything into that one yet. Maybe we do that a little bit later. And then Fubo, we have 11 grand in it, so we're just not touching that one. Maybe if we sell a few things, or have some money, maybe we'll put some more money in that to drive that cost basis down. But for right now, I don't really see any really reason I'm focusing on this. We'll just let this one ride over the long term. Plus, it's a really good stock. So, I mean, they're doing all the right things. So one of the things that I thought, as I was listening to this guy on the news channel today, the guy that was saying he bet against Credit Suisse, he says, honestly, he goes, I'm looking at everything that's up today. I'm probably going to look at selling, not everything, but things that are up today, I'm going to look at selling, and things that are down today, I'm going to look at buying. So I went into the rank, and I thought, okay, well, let's look at that. So AMC, of the ones that are highest up, we don't have a whole lot of big up, right? AMC, which we're not touching, that's a meme stock, but I think it's a really good stock within our wheelhouse. We're not touching that. Bitcoin, we're not touching. Century Casinos, I looked at that. We're not touching that as well. It's a casino stock. Golden Entertainment's a casino stock. Full House Resorts is a casino stock. Yuko's Oil. DraftKings is, betting casino stock. So none of these we're looking to sell. Dogecoin went up because Elon Musk started tweeting in it, and I probably should have just bought some. Every time he tweets, it goes up, and then after a few days, it goes down. So don't buy it right now. Wait for it to go down. If it gets down to 0.6 again, I'll probably buy some more, just as a total, easy money to make, and then wait for him to tweet and then sell it. So sell it like 2 days later. So that being said, the things that are going down are just, again, they're all the Biden stocks. I mean, look at this. These are literally all the Biden stocks for the most part, like these ones right here. So with that being said, we took a look at AHT, which we're going to look at in a moment. It's down 9% today. And then we looked at 2 days, and again, nothing really big. Bitcoin, AMC, Yuko, PBF, Century, Golden. So oil, and other than these two, oil and casino stocks for the most part, but not big numbers. Look, so Dogecoin went up 160% in 2 days. Not that I'm bitter about that. But then anyway, we look at down here, and we look at the ones, and it's all the Biden stocks we have right here for the most part. And then AHT was down 11% overall. Of the 11%, 9% today. So one of the things that I looked at today was I'm following that guy's advice, and I think it, not that I'm just going to always follow the guy's advice, but I think it makes sense. AHT really doesn't have a whole lot of ratings. I did go into, I'll show into. There we go. So we're going to go into Yahoo Finance only because I like their presentation. I think it's a really easy thing to look at and get a sense on what you are looking for. So we're going to go into Ashford Hospitality Trust, and we'll go to the analysis. I think that's the tab. All right, as we scroll down here, in April, we have 1 sell, 2 holds, 3 buys, and 1 strong buy. So 4 buys, basically, 2 holds, and 1 sell. And then we look at the price target they have at 3.75. We're sitting at 1.92, which is basically, do the math on it, rough math, it's double. I mean, we're at half of the price target. So looking at the fact that we're down 23% and the fact that I don't have a ton invested in there, I thought, okay, this would be a good opportunity. So it's sitting at 194 right now. If it goes down to 185, and we could always, if it goes up, let's say to 2, then we could always buy it, right? It's not a big deal. We're going to drive our cost basis down. Plus, if it goes up, we make money. So we're not really losing anything if it goes up. But if it goes down to 185, I put $1,500 in it today for $27.75, which for those who aren't good at math, I will do the calculator for you. So $27.75 plus $26.77.50 equals that divided by $1,550, which would be the new amount of stocks. We have 1050 right now. If we added 1,500, again, we'd be buying more stocks we have now at a lower price. It would drive the, that doesn't make any sense, does it? All right, 2665.50, no, 77.50 plus 2775 equals that, divided by 1550. All right, where's my math wrong at this? 2775 plus 2650. All right, that's how much we would own. And then, oh, that's why, duh. Divided by, instead of 1550, it's 2550. And it would drive our cost per, average down from 255 to 213, and we're almost at that point anyway. So if we did that right now, let's just say we did 2.1382, it would drive it down from 23.92% down to 9%. So, all right, so with that, I mean, obviously that makes a whole lot of sense. So on the other side of that, one of the things, so that's really the only move we made. We bought some FTFT in the last couple days, basically 500 shares at 450, but that's gone down a little bit. We'll see where that goes. I also have a sell order on that. We decided just to sell if it goes up to 6, because these things can spike really quickly, some of these stocks. So if for whatever reason it just decides to jack up, we want to have this set up. Not that we expect it to happen anytime soon, but if it has one of these massive spikes, and this stock is one that's shown massive spikes, we want to have that sell order in place. On top of that, Service Corporation, we'll take a look at that one real quick. Or I'm sorry, Service Properties Trust. And I was looking at that. I was trying to find something to sell just to get some more money to buy, take advantage of some of these down prices, because that's really what we're looking at. So I looked at them, and they do hospitality and travel services, right? So that's good. They own hotels and travel centers around U.S., Ontario, Canada, and Puerto Rico. And so I'm like, I kind of want it more in the U.S. It's the reason why we sold Acagi, right? ACAGY. But if it's in Canada and Puerto Rico, I mean, Canada's like shutting down churches and they're just being crazy. Puerto Rico, I don't know much about. So anyway, with that being said, it's like, all right, maybe this is the one we want to sell. So we bought it at $11.95. So I decided, okay, we're going to make something really easy. It's sitting here at $12.40. If it hits $12.50, which is a very basic, easy number to hit, then we'll sell that as well. So, so that being said, we added that in there, and that'll probably be the first one to actually sell. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, guys. So looking down here, again, my advice a month ago was we're going to focus on these 4 segments. They're all doing really well. And then the segment I said that, we kind of got rid of, and that was my time at that restaurant that was fully open, pre-COVID, packed, indoor. I'm not telling you the name of the restaurant because I'm not getting them in trouble. Are the ones that are suffering this right now. So, so looking forward, you got to keep your eye on the ball. Again, this is the street smarts part of it. So here in California, well, I mean, the governor is facing a recall effort. So he's trying to do whatever he can to stave it off. They're going full reopening. I mean, we're basically in the second best tier right now here in San Diego, and in most of the state, they're in that tier. June 15th, everything's reopening. Some things we saw in the news: UFC, if not one of their next events is going to be in Vegas, and they said full house, 20,000 fans. They're reopening. Texas was reopening. I watched the Padres play the Rangers recently, and they're the Rangers, so you're not going to have a full house. But it's basically a normal baseball, attendance. It was probably 25,000 people at the game. Florida's the same way. I think WrestleMania had a full house this past weekend. And so you got to understand that you have earnings seasons coming up. So I think people are probably maybe selling some of the things or hedging their bets. I don't know what they're doing. But you have a full reopening happening. And so we have to be very patient, let the market come to us. Don't make any drastic moves. I'm not selling anything unless there's a rational reason to do so. So I do have my limit sells set up. And then I have some buys set up that I think make a lot of sense. Movie theaters, some of the movies, Top Gun got pushed back to November, so we'll probably have a little bit of a longer window on the movie theater thing, but that's fine. It's going to come to us one way or the other. We're paying for law school, and law school takes 3 years, so I'm not in a rush on that. But with that in mind, you want to look at the fact that we have some stocks that are nice buy opportunities. We did AHT today, and again, I'm not saying that you have the same penetration that I do. But if I think fuel cell in the long term is going to be huge, I would recommend buying it. If I didn't have $8,000 sunk in it already, I would already do that. Fubo is another one that I think is a big no-brainer. Next ID, just what they do is going to be really important and functional for the economy and for how people work. When people have Amazon Dots and Echoes and Nests and all the other things that they have there, it's really important. Penn National Gaming is the leader in their industry, so again, I think it's a no-brainer to pick that up as well. This is more of a long-term play for me. Skills just has an awesome leadership team, and you cannot argue with that. They're down to where they're at right now. I would definitely buy more if I didn't have $8,000 in it already. So those are some of the things you're looking at. And I think future fintech we talked about as well. I was talking to somebody about that recently. This one is one of those that spike. When it goes up fast. So again, make sure, I'm gonna, it might be sitting here at 383 today, but when it spikes, it spikes. So I have a sell order in to take advantage of that and free up some money when that comes, which it will come. So that's my plan in the long term. Again, when things are down, it's not that the whole portfolio is down. It's what I told myself I should start selling is down. I just didn't sell it fast enough. So with that being said, that's really the only segment that's really killing, that's really just getting killed right now. The Biden stocks as well is we'll just lump these all together. These are kind of the two that we wanted to sell, and they're the only two that are down as a whole. So with that being said, pick the ones you like. You have my advice. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, and I'll be glad to give you some feedback on that. So with that being said, we will see you tomorrow. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.